Hey everybody, this is Zach with the Realize the Market podcast. Our goal is to connect with entrepreneurs by providing a platform to help others through their experiences. Today we're coming to you live from the Small Business Expo in Los Angeles with a very special guest, Tomas Cutts.
Yes sir, how you doing? I'm Tomas Cutts, Director and CEO of Weatherstone Studios. I direct and produce.
Direct and produce, so what kind of stuff do you direct and produce?
I direct and produce music videos, commercials, short films, documentaries, mainly in those spaces right there. So.
Gotcha. So the music video aspect side of things, let's kind of talk about that a little bit, because I know on your website you've got a variety of things that you're promoting on there, but I did see a handful of music videos that are excellent, by the way.
Thank you.
So let's go into that a little bit. So music video production in itself is a pretty complex and expensive process.
Yeah.
The higher quality you start to get, the more people have to get involved.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the value of music videos in today's market?
I feel like the value of music videos still has stayed the same. Like, I think the barrier to entry of shooting a video has gone down because of the advances of technology.
Sure.
So like back in the day, you could shoot a music video, or like labels would spend $1 million on music videos, and now you can almost get a running gun, and that could do something too. I think the value really comes in the social currency, of what the video does for the artist, So I think even with the barriers to entry, I think that the value still holds and holds today. So.
For sure. So on that note, you're talking about the social value. Have you noticed any particular music video trends that might help have a bigger impact on that social value in a shorter time frame?
Yeah. The trends I'd see is definitely like it's a repeating cycle. I think in art is a repeating cycle. I think like things like Super 8, things like slow shutter, different things in terms of editing style. A lot of the things like that have all been sort of recycled. There's been directors like Cole Bennett, Lone Wolf, all who are like in the music video space who have like transcended how we edit videos.
For sure.
But still people like Hype Williams, we still keep like a lot of the fisheye, a lot of the high angles, a lot of the color theory that we have in videos are still the same to me.
Well, what's your opinion on what kind of Cole Bennett came in and did with Lyrical Lemonade to the whole music video industry, man? He really came in and changed the game.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. So quick story, my first college I went to was in Aurora, Illinois, and a guy on my football team, the first time I met Cole Bennett, the guy on my football team was a rapper and also played football. And a guy named Cole Bennett, who at the time just came in with the Sony A7, shot a video for $200 right before Famous Dex, before all of these different things. So somebody like Cole was definitely like a huge influence, because I went to school in Chicago.
Gotcha.
So I got to see a lot of different artists too, and like even connect with a lot of different artists as well too. So that whole scene period was a time. So.
I bet it was. So What was it like growing up in Chicago for you in the music scene?
Man, you see a lot of different people. Like the school that I went to, Roosevelt, was right downtown, and it was like right across the street from where Chance used to be handing out CDs at the library.
That's
right?
incredible.
Like there's a Little Yachty video that Cole Bennett directed on iPhone that's literally right next to my school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
That's incredible.
Just seeing like all these different creatives, some who made it on a local scale, some who made it on a national scale, but just seeing just the energy that was around, and people who wanted to tell their stories, and
So it sounds like you were definitely surrounded by a lot of creative inspiration.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah.
What inspires you?
I'm inspired by art, period. I think the expression, I think art is something that you can express that necessarily may not be able to be expressed in like another way.
Right.
My dad is a jazz guitarist, and he's played, all throughout. And so for him, I've seen him be able to play something on a string that, he wouldn't be able to express in words. So
For sure.
For me, it's storytelling. At the end of the day, everything is storytelling.
It definitely is, and that's a lot of what we do. I mean, as a marketing agency, the one thing that we do all day long is tell stories that people can connect to in a way that's beneficial to move their life forward. So I love to hear that you've, kind of found your lane with your storytelling in a creative way. Because the arts, I mean, they have such a major impact on people everywhere, So how do you stay motivated when you might not feel so creative, or you might not feel like your message is necessarily impactful? I believe at the end of the day, if you're putting art out there, it's impactful no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But the voice in your head sometimes can tell you the opposite, and I think a lot of artists struggle with that.
I'd say for me, one thing that I did early on was I always try to have something like in the vault, in a sense. So if I'm about to release something, I always have a couple more things ready, and that gives me confidence. Just in case I put it out and nobody likes it,
yeah.
I got 2 more ready.
Or if they do like it, you can continue to ride that hype.
Yeah.
Because if somebody sees something that they like, they want to explore your catalog and get to know it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Deepen their connection with you. And I think if you don't have those things prepared, a lot of artists might miss that shot if they release, a record or a video and it really resonates with a lot of people, but they have no catalog for anybody to follow up with.
Yeah.
How can people build a personal connection with you as an artist?
You've seen that a lot too with a lot of artists. Yeah. One-hit wonders.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what do you think are the most, if I'm an artist and I have this song that I'm really, really psyched about, and I want to put this video together for it to promote it, what do you think are the most important elements that I should focus on that would make a great video on a low budget?
I'd say focus on the song itself, who you are as an audience, as an artist, and then also your audience.
For sure.
So some songs, depending on who you are, let's say, for example, I know we said like a local artist, but let's say Drake, for example, right? Like a music video is a chance to really, as an artist, show the audience your world, right? And show the audience like you in a world. So at one point in time, just in this past summer alone, you've seen Drake in medieval times on a horse,
right?
Right, in a music video. And then the next music video is more of a lifestyle, just doing some of the things. So some videos, depending on the artist you are, your audience may take to, if they're used to seeing you in this lane right here, sometimes all it needs is a run and gun video, and they won't necessarily take to you doing medieval times if you're a certain artist,
right?
So just knowing who you are, knowing what the song is saying, knowing the audience, and then those ideas right here will like those structures will align an idea that can definitely fit almost every single time, I feel like.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what kind of creative direction do you provide if I were to come to you with a song and an idea? How would you help me bring that vision to life?
First, it always has to be about something. I'm here to figure out what the song is about and figuring out what direction we can take it to. I always like to come with a couple different ideas, a very left, abstract, avant-garde idea. I'm always testing to see if they like to test the waters.
For sure.
Something that I know that they'll like, that is actually in their lane, and then something else too. And so just giving them some options. But I say it definitely has to be about something. Some videos can be like have like a storyline to it, right? Some videos can just be specifically about color theory, about camera movement, things like that.
A purpose.
Yeah, it has to have a purpose.
So if I came to you and, it didn't really have a purposeful vision, I mean, it probably wouldn't make sense to work with you then, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I definitely, in my own art, I like to work with artists that do have a purpose and have a vision.
For sure.
Because we do have, I do believe personally in terms of the messaging that we bring has to be true to who we are, and also it can't just be anything.
For sure. And I only say that to preface the fact that I think it's very vitally important for an artist to figure out what their purpose is at the beginning.
Yeah.
To try to find who they are and to find their lane and how they can promote that message in a way that's comfortable and authentic.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And you don't want to work with anybody who's not authentic, because then that can really affect your reputation and I don't know, man. It's no fun working with people who aren't genuine about what it is that they're doing. And I think you come across that a lot in arts sometimes. So how do you navigate those situations whenever somebody comes to you and you might realize this guy's intention isn't necessarily to make the best of what's going on here? How do you remove yourself? Do you have any advice?
I'd say One, me and my team, we've created, or we've talked about like we can tell who's serious.
For sure.
You can definitely tell who's serious by how they come. I've worked with artists on all different spectrums, artists who are like signed by labels and also artists who are, independent, so you can tell the level of seriousness and some artists may have a vision for it, some artists are just doing the music,
Right.
So how I weed myself out, it really just comes by just asking questions and figuring out, what it is that they actually truly want,
For sure.
And I'm not alone with it too. I have like other people who are in sales with me, so
That's key.
yeah.
Okay, so for somebody interested in maybe running a video production company, what's your opinion on delegating tasks that somebody else could do better or more efficiently?
Definitely delegate tasks. I think that is something that when it comes to when you come and you lay out all the things that are important, the things that are necessary, and the things that can be replaceable. I play basketball too, so I come from like a team sport, so I understand the essence of utilizing a team and being able to put people in position that they're passionate about, that they're also skilled about, that myself, I can be better used to compound somewhere else.
For sure.
So that's how I look at it.
That's cool. Okay, so if I was, ready to hire an outsource a video production company, what are some key things that you would recommend people look for?
Definitely look for their work. Go on their page, go on their social media page, their websites, and look for their work. Look at the team, see who's all involved in the team, and then come prepared. Come prepared with knowing what budget you have. If you have a concept, if you don't have a concept, and then explain that. Usually production companies have some type of questionnaire or some type of preliminary questions that they have just to sort of get some information on you. So
For sure. So what if I came with you with no concept, could your team help me develop that concept?
yes, we develop concepts, we create treatments. I have writers on my team. Like aside from music videos, I'm also working on some other long form content. So I have writers on my team who, and just other people who can help like be able to generate ideas. So yeah.
For sure. So what are you doing with that written material? This team that you're building. What's your vision for Weatherstone Studios?
So my vision for Weatherstone Studios is to eventually be a full creative agency and be able to. My background is in marketing. I went to school for integrated marketing communications.
For sure.
And then I delve into film, but being able to combine both of those aspects, because obviously they work hand in hand. And being able to provide that service for artists. I'm working on systems for like artist management later down in the line. So the biggest thing I see is really creating an agency, building networks, continue to get in. I love getting younger talent too.
For sure.
Because they're seeing videos and I'm not even seeing, and know some artists that I may not see. So it all is able to help in terms of like creating the community.
I think the community aspect of it all is so important. And sometimes, like, I don't know, you might hear it as a trend, like to do things yourself and to try to make it all happen on your own. But like at the end of the day, like it'll never work.
No.
You might get so far by yourself, but at some point you're gonna hit a wall, and you're not gonna be able to get through that wall until you bring somebody else in that has maybe skills that you don't possess to help you bust that wall down. Maybe they come with a jackhammer and you don't have them.
Yeah.
So I think building the community, especially in music, is so important, and I love to hear that you're doing that with Weatherstone Studios. And
Thank you.
what kind of let's talk about maybe like record labels a little bit. You mentioned you worked with record labels.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? If a label wanted to get in touch with you or outsource your productions, what does that look like?
Usually, a lot of major videos come with from a video commissioner, right? A record label has a video commissioner who would then hire and get together with some EPs, executive producers, who would then start to hire to string down the producers, down to the directors, get the concept together. Once the budget and everything is all agreed within both parties, then the production actually happens. We're hiring our crew, we're getting locations, we're making it happen.
So that process that you just explained to me is that's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially as an artist trying to do that for themselves, that's an incredible amount of work, and not even just the understanding of legal technicalities and everything that comes along with that. And creatives don't want to necessarily think about that all the time.
Right.
So I think it's imperative to consider a solution like what you provide to help kind of bridge that gap, so that the artist can continue being an artist and you can continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what we provide is a done for you service. We want to be able to. We like to take ideas from the conception and take it all the way through to delivery.
For sure. Is there anything that you do after the video is delivered? Is there anything that you do to maybe help and get that video in front of audiences or anything like that?
Yeah. So in terms of besides the video itself too, we're creating marketing and promotional materials. We have some contacts with some people in PR, some things like that. So it depends. I work on some major artists. It's more prevalent, and with the independent artists, we're still, it just depends on the budget and things like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, it definitely seems like you've came a long way since this is something that you were interested in doing, and I'm sure there's been a lot of roadblocks that popped up in the way. So you as a creative especially, how do you navigate through situations that are tough? You're not confident in the work you're doing, or how do you wake up every day and stay motivated?
Man, I'm passionate. I think that's something that I really love doing, even if I wasn't getting paid for it at all. You hear that.
For sure.
If I wasn't getting paid for it at all, I'd still be doing what I do.
Of course.
So. That in itself, then also too, working with the team, I feel like a responsibility of, continue to keep everything going just because we have a team, we're a team, so it's beyond myself.
When did you know that you were passionate about this?
I got into film when I was in my senior year of college, and I got injured the first practice of my senior season.
Oh no.
And
the worst case scenario.
Right, the worst case scenario. And so after that happened, I started really focusing my attention into film and just diving in, learning about, I had classes with it. And so that's when I really developed a passion. I've always been a huge Kobe Bryant fan.
Right.
And he was always somebody who was super obsessed and passionate about different things. So
it's a champion.
Yeah, so that in itself all led to it. So yeah.
Okay, so I think finding your passion early on is key, and I'm super happy to hear that you found your passion within what it is that you're doing. And I think that as long as you stay you keep that passion in the work that you do, then it resonates with the clients that you have.
Yeah.
And that passion starts to spill over into them, and it creates a domino effect of just people really loving what they're doing. And I'm going to tie that back into why that community aspect is so important.
Yes.
Because you can share things like passion and ideas and inspiration.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think inspiration is one of the greatest gifts we have on earth.
What inspires you?
What inspires me is to get the vision that's in my head and get it fully out,
To completion.
To completion, I think no matter what level, I've heard some movie directors who've had, $100 million budgets, $100 million budgets, and still what's in their head still hasn't come across, right? So being able to get that, it's a chase.
It is a chase. I definitely agree. I'm the same way. I write I do a lot of copywriting, and I think that's one thing that inspires me is having an idea come into my head and then bringing it out into reality, and then it inspiring action. Yeah. I think whenever that works, that's something that still to this day makes me kind of take a step back and be like, wow, that's crazy. It's crazy how powerful words and action can be when coupled with passion.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. That's the recipe for success right there.
I definitely agree.
Being able to control what you can control.
For sure.
Yeah.
But and also accepting what it is that you can't control.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most of everything you really aren't in control of. Like I think that the only thing that you truly are in control of at the end of the day is how you react, how you think about things.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And if you don't get a grasp on that, then I mean, a lot of your outside world might be very confusing.
Yeah.
Again, having a community of people around you that support that type of mindset is super important.
1,000%. And I think that even goes too for like small business owners too, like, picking the right team too.
Of course, that's key.
It's huge. And even in the creative fields too, it's like, we're like creative superheroes in a sense,
Of course.
So we got to be able to like make sure that we are all talented, working hard, but also as well we mesh together.
I love that you said a creative superhero, because I think that whenever somebody does find their passion and they're able to tap into that, sometimes that can intimidate people in certain ways, because the confidence that could exude from that passion can make people feel some type of way.
Yeah, it's cool. I think that a lot of people are afraid of, going all in on something.
Of course.
A lot of people are afraid of that full commitment and saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm passionate about.
For sure.
And going towards it,
For
so
sure.
when you see somebody else, it's more, you can feel that reflection,
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right, Tomas, well, I definitely appreciate your time. Again, tell me one more time, how can people find you? If I'm interested in hiring you, where do I go?
People can find me on my website, weatherstonestudios.com. You guys can reach out to me via Instagram at Tomas, Tomas, Cutts, Cutts, in my production company at Weatherstone Studios.
Beautiful. All right, there you have it. Everybody go follow Tomas. Hit him up on Instagram, shoot him a message, go check out Weatherstone Studios.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your time.